moment for us, I think, in the city of Monrovia. Let's call it a celebration and also a declaration of war at the same time, okay? Because that's what it is. I, number one, want to welcome all of you friends, neighbors, and property owners, and renters, and families, and we are a neighborhood in Monrovia, and I think we want to typify that by what we're doing here tonight. We want to show you that we really are a neighborhood. We're all family here in Monrovia, and we're not going to allow any part of our family to be mistreated, and we're not going to allow your families to be treated any differently than any other families in Monrovia. And I think what you've witnessed here on this street in the past has been a mistreatment of your kids and of your families, and I think you want to stop that. So we have some real important people here this evening that have also declared war with us. They're very important people. Our Chief of Police, Joe Santoro. Why don't you raise your hand, Joe? Okay. Don Hopper, where are you, Don? Our Director of Community Development, right here. Our police captains, Paige and Jack, where are you? Fire Chief Mark Foote. And all the rest of the POP committee, raise your hands. All right. We just declared at our council meeting Tuesday night a National Night Out Against Crime, and it has national significance, and in Monrovia, of course, it starts right here on Montana Street. And we're going to continue the pressure, folks. This is just the beginning. We want you to understand that we're not going away. So if you're a drug dealer or a user, this is probably the time to pack up and go on about your business. And if you're a law-abiding citizen, now's the time to throw your hands together, because we're going to do it right here on Montana Street. What is POP? That's problem-oriented policing. It's something that our chief has brought to us here in Monrovia, and it involves a lot of departments. But we're going to declare several things here. First message to you is we're not going to tolerate this stuff any longer. Second message is we're not going to tolerate this stuff any longer. And the third message is we're not going to tolerate this stuff any longer. Okay? That's the message. I'd like to enlist your support and your efforts to help us get that done. We can't do this in a vacuum. Do you agree you can help us? You don't have to tolerate your children taking drugs or seeing drug deals going down on your street. You don't have to tolerate that. Not in Monrovia. As a matter of fact, you don't have to tolerate that anywhere. And we're here to make sure that doesn't happen any longer. We've let it happen too long. We also expect you, this is a partnership, and we expect you to do some things too. We expect you to give your kids an environment, a clean environment within the home that they can look forward to coming home to. We look for you to look forward to a clean neighborhood and trees trimmed. And maybe there's some spots we can do some things as a city. I noticed that there are no sidewalks down here. Maybe we can do something about that, okay? So we got a part in this to play as well, okay? I see a lot of things we can do, but I won't talk any longer. I'm going to introduce our Chief of Police, who will continue on. Oh, okay. I didn't see Mary Wilcox. Okay. Councilwoman Mary Wilcox, will you raise your hand? Give her a round of applause. We're not going to have this all talk and no show, so I want Chief Santoro to come up and give you a little brief outline of what POP is, okay? Thank you. Thank you very much.
First of all, let me tell you that I'm very happy to be here tonight to talk to you about some things that are very important to our police department. and that is your safety and the well-being of this neighborhood. A couple of weeks ago, we started taking a very close look at this neighborhood. And we did that by a committee that we have at City Hall called a Problem-Oriented Policing Committee. And the mayor introduced a lot of those members to you. These people have spent a lot of time trying to decide what's the problem down here on Montana. How come there's drug dealing on the street? How come we have gangbangers intimidating the good, law-abiding citizens who live on this street? How come the living environment down here is what it is? And the fact is that when we looked at it, we found out something that absolutely amazed everybody on the committee. The philosophy and the feeling down here that this was okay. That it was okay to have your drains stopped up over in this apartment building. That it's okay to have cockroaches in your living quarters. That it's okay to have electrical outlets exposed. That it's okay to have people standing out here on the street selling drugs in front of your children. Well, it's not okay. And from the police department, we're here to tell you it's not okay and we need your help. And we're going to do some good things for this block. As the mayor said, I would like to reiterate a strong message. If you're a drug dealer on this street, you better move out of town, because we're going to put your butts right in jail. In the last couple of weeks, what we've done down here is some preliminary stuff. We've talked to the landlords. We solicited their cooperation in making this living environment better. We've asked that they upgrade the property, that they clean it up, that they take care of the insides and help you people live in a good environment down here. And they've agreed to do that. But they need your help in maintaining that condition. We've come down here in the last 2 weeks and arrested 14 people for selling or buying drugs on this street here in undercover operation. And if they come down here more, we're going to keep arresting them. And we're going to arrest everybody that we can. Because this is what we saw when we showed the videotape of those drug transactions. We saw drug dealers selling dope on this street and little tiny babies watching it. Well, to us that means that these kids are growing up with a picture in their mind that says, this is okay. This is what I have in life for me. That's all I can expect to do, because these are the guys and ladies who have the money. Well, from the police department, from the city council, and from this particular city staff, we're here to tell you that that's not the picture that we want our children to have in their head on this block. And we think if we can change that picture, if we can change that picture in their head that tells them that they're capable of being better than a drug dealer, if they can tell them that they're capable of doing more important things for this community, well, then they're going to think better about themselves, they're going to think better about their community, and when they grow up, they're going to be an asset to this community instead of a criminal. These are your babies and your children, and we're simply not going to stand it any longer on this street. So when I talk to you tonight, and I know I've been down here a couple of times in the last 2 weeks going through all these different apartments and taking a look at what's going on here, well, we've dedicated the full force of the police department. Don Hopper from Community Development has dedicated his staff to making it better and right on this street. And we're not going to leave until it's done. And we're going to be here so everybody that's doing bad things down here, that's trying to corrupt this neighborhood, get the message. You better leave, because your next residence is going to be a penitentiary, and we're going to do what we have to do to get you there. What I'd like to do is tell you that we got some punch and cookies here and some balloons for the kids, and that's basically just to give this a party atmosphere, and feel free to walk around and ask any of the people on the committee what we have in mind. But the simple and very clear message is, as citizens of Monrovia, you deserve better. As people as people that are raising their children in this community, working hard, trying to educate the kids, trying to set the proper tone and standard for them, that's right, and we're here to help you do it. So I'd like to thank you for coming out tonight, and I can guarantee you're going to see more of us down here, and we're going to be working hard to make it better. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Don Hopper, the Community Development Director.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, we had the opportunity to come down here, and we came down here with about 15 or 20 people that were police officers, they were health inspectors, they were building inspectors, they were code enforcement officers, they were fire inspectors. And the purpose of us coming down here was to start taking a look and making sure that it wasn't just a problem on the street with drug dealers, because the problem doesn't stop there. The problem stops, though, when we clean up all the living conditions that are in your homes. By the time we started over here on this end of the street and got down to the other end of the street, we couldn't even walk on a property without somebody opening their door and saying, "Come on in, I've got some things I want to show you." And I can guarantee you that we are here to change those things that are wrong with your properties. Not only wrong on the outside, but wrong on the inside. As the chief said, you don't need to live in conditions where you're bringing up a family and you have unsanitary conditions in your house, that you have electrical problems that could shock somebody, that you have plumbing that's not working, that you have doors and screens and windows that are broken that are not being repaired, that there are some people who are living in garages. That's not right. You don't need to live in that kind of condition. You don't need to bring your children up in that kind of condition. We're not going to tolerate it on Montana Street. We're not going to tolerate it any place in this city. And you shouldn't stand for it either. I can guarantee you, though, nothing will change if we don't have a partnership. That partnership is not just the city of Monrovia coming down here with a building inspector or a fire inspector or a health inspector and trying to make change. That partnership just isn't the owner of the property making some changes and then having it abused again, and then we've got to start all over again. The partnership just isn't having you as people who live in these units complaining about it or taking care of it as best you can, but nobody else helping you. The partnership is all three of us working together and making sure that things are taken care of right the first time and they are maintained.
Prevention is a joint venture, you and us. We can't do it alone. We need your help. We need you when you have strangers on the street that are dealing drugs. We need you to call us. Tell us they're out here. We've done a survey of a lot of you when we came through your homes. You told us oftentimes it's strangers out here selling the drugs. You don't need these strangers out here. If they have no business, we can come down. We can identify that they don't belong in the neighborhood. We'll get them out of your neighborhood. You don't need that kind of people here. It only makes dangers for you. You've heard of the shootings down here. You've seen all the other unlawful activity. You don't need it in your neighborhood. As you can see on the insignias on the balloon, working together, we can do anything. And that's just what it says, working together. If you call into the police station, if there's some difficulty, my name is Jay Olds. Call and ask for me. I'm the crime prevention officer. I can coordinate some activities with the other resources that we have. I also am the ramrod, as they said, for the POP project. I've also down here seen a lot of my friends from West Walnut, the 800 block West Walnut. They have somewhat of a drug problem over there also. They are going to be one of the next areas that this POP task force is going to conquer. We're not going to quit in any of the areas until we have it done. Okay, now...
Oh, thanks about coming down the street, talking about it. All right. Oh, my name is Demetrius Ford.
You live here?
Yep.
And you feel good about that?
It's all right.
Do you see problems on your street?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And you want the police to be more visible? Yeah. Make it a safer place to live? How about you?
Yeah, my name is Tina.
And you live down here?
Yeah. I live down a couple of blocks down the street. I see people where
Like to
from
see
the house.
police more visible?
Yeah,
Clean it up? Make it a safer place for the
a lot more safer place. Because I get tired of having people coming in the back part, come in the driveway and go in the back and they sell their drugs and stuff.
right under your nose.
Yeah,
And it's hard to raise children in that environment.
yeah, it is.
And it's hard to feel good about your neighborhood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chance for success if they continue to do their part and we continue to make the promises and stick to them that we want to do. So that's what we're going to do.
Do you feel the neighborhood's responsive?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We believe there's people here that are curious and perhaps may not ever do anything. But we think if we continue to make the effort that we're going to make and they show that we are sincere, that they'll work with us as well.
I think it's good. It's a good opportunity for them to see the police department in a different light.
Yes, it is. Very important.
And City Hall as well.
As we said to the citizens, we become activists in the community. We want to make sure that the community is right for everybody, including the police. You're welcome.
I'm glad the police in the community decided to get together, but I want them to back us up if we decide to call tonight, tomorrow. I don't want them to just get together for show because I'm going to be calling them, and I want some results.
That's right. We want to see results, action going on. Because our children have to play out here. We want this mess cleaned up. We really do. We don't need this. And I'm just happy. I'm thanking God that it's really happening. And it's finally going to come to pass. We know they're going to clean it up, and I believe it.
But we was praying, we prayed for this time to come. Because we are church people. And we don't have time for this. We don't even know the future for our kids out here with these drugs and even they little friends living down here. Our kids have friends that live down here. No telling if their parents is using the drugs or whatever. And we don't want to exclude our kids, from being with people. But hey, what can you do? What can you do? It's very dangerous. It's dangerous. And one time we had it where the cops was pulling out guns because of drugs. We don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need it. We don't. But God He just let all this work. But just like my neighbor was saying, they have to work with us. And we work with them. And when we call and we tell them we got prowlers around, they got to come immediately. I hope they do.
I believe they will.
Because God knows, I live at 146, and they going to hear from me. They're going to hear from me. Because, see, our kids, we don't even know if our kids can't even hardly go to school. We don't know what to do. But if they ready to do all of this, I'm 100% with them, believe you me, because I love my children and I don't want to be raising them up here with this drug mess. And it wasn't really like this.
I don't know how you feel.
How do you feel about the drugs?
I think that they should clean it up. They really should clean it up because it's not good for us to be around drugs and stuff.
Feels good to see the policemen here today.
Yeah, and they're cleaning up the streets because they need to clean up the streets.
Do you get the feeling the policemen are your friends?
Yes. Yes.
And that they're going to come down and pay some attention to your streets?
Yes.
I got that feeling too.
Because we want to play and stuff, and we can't. And every time some drug dealers and stuff come over here, our mom had to call us in the house because we can't play no more.
So this is a good thing. This is a good day, huh?
Yeah, I'm glad they're cleaning it up because one time we was going outside to play, we can't hardly play anymore because when we was younger, we used to cross the streets and don't have to worry about people driving crazy and stuff. But now they're driving all wild, and every time I look around, see a drug dealer, I get scared and I just start praying and stuff.
So this is a good thing.
Yes.
Tell them you're happy about it.
I'm just happy because they had came and we was praying about this day and we can't play outside or nothing, and that's what I think.
So this is a good thing, huh?
Yeah, let her say something. Go on now.
I'm glad they're cleaning up the streets so there'll be no more drugs and that we can play more outside and don't.
Man, I want this problem to be stopped because our children can't come out here and play on the street anymore, and for fear of somebody coming down the street, drive-by shootings. We got the police chasing somebody, pulling up in driveways chasing somebody. Our children could be run over, You know, and it's just not a safe place for our children to grow up. It's not a good atmosphere. The drug atmosphere is not a good atmosphere for our children to be raised in. You know, so I'm pretty much for the police being down here and pretty much enforcing the drug problem and the control of the drug flow down here. I think it's a good idea.
Good. So you're responsive to this.
Yes, I'm pretty much, because me myself, years ago, I used to be into the same things too. But, you know, I try to make a difference to the guys and let them know that there's no future in that. It goes nowhere. You go to jail if you got children. That's not a good example for them. You know, and I try to, you know, express to the guys around here that that's really not a good idea. That's really not a good idea, you know.
Contributing to your community in your own way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm pretty much for it. You know, whatever they do, let them do it. You know, whatever it takes to get them off the street, fine. You know, if they can't respect themselves or their families enough to move somewhere else and not do it around their families and expose their families and their friends and other neighbors, then that's what it takes to get them off the street, then do it, you know, do it. You know, I'm all for it.
Good.
All right, thank you.